Peace. This is Brother Hot Tim coming at you live. Well, I ain't live. This is a podcast. And I'm just being hit by some thoughts. I'm sitting on a sleepy, hot afternoon. And some thoughts hit me. I had an experience yesterday that really got me thinking. And I want to share these thoughts with you because many of you on a journey are going to experience times and thoughts like this. I spoke to two of my younger brothers today, and they kind of confirmed it for me because hard times always come, especially when you're on your journey, especially when you find your path. And I want to assure you that you have within you the abilities to overcome any obstacle. So I was thinking about a quote that I had, and I'll go into my story. And the quote stated that I can't remember who said it, but as you stare into the abyss also stares within you. I want you to keep that in mind as we go through what I'm about to tell you. So, I am, as far as the podcasting and some of the writing, although I've been doing it off and on, I consider myself on my fourth year, on my number 4. And this is the year in which I bring order. And I have been forced because often when you come into these periods that I'm going through these for those that want to follow it and get some more information. I'm going through the cycles on my show. Give Yourself Permission. I'm going to cover from 0 to 9. And I consider myself on year 4. And this is the year of order. And often what you find is that these cycles put you in situations where you have to do what they say. So coming out of year 3, entering year 4, I had to start putting things in order. So I had to start separating my shows. So I started 3 new shows so that I could cover all the stuff that I need to cover. I started Give Yourself Permission. I started Folk Tales for Grown Folks. I started Tribal Quotes because I wanted to deal with those 3 areas. And I also had to start listing over the last 2 years, 2012 and 2013. I had to list all of my activities, and I got almost 500 different small events that I have participated in and or organized. I organized a majority of them. I worked with the people and putting them together and making sure that they were able to do it. And the people that I had to have a meeting for, that I got the news, the challenge, because that's what I'm going to say, the feedback, they looked at all the stuff I was doing and they asked me this question. They said, Mr. Brown, you need to learn how to look at this from the perspective we look at it. You have, in the last 2 years, over 500 different things you done did. You got over 600 podcasts. You have traveled all over Columbus and sometime even left the state. And you have made a total of $10 recorded. And you have spent over $10,000. And the question we have to ask you is, and the question we had to ask ourselves, is this reasonable? Is it reasonable? Does it make sense for somebody to spend $10,000 and spend all this time over the last 2.5 years doing the stuff that you're doing and only record and make $10? So the only conclusion that we could basically come to, and I'm paraphrasing, is that you're out of your mind. You're crazy. the vision that you have is not only not a vision, it's not a business. And we would suggest that you stop. Because if you don't stop, we're going to come at you again. And as I sat there listening and realizing where I was and realizing where I was in my life on a number 4, I understood perfectly. I had to put it in order. And I also understood that most people can't see what I see. See, most people don't see the dreams that I have. The ones where either I'm fighting something, trying to protect a house that an old house that I have been dreaming about for the last 10 years that I'm going to get and renovate. Most people don't see that. Most people don't see the businesses. Most people don't see the vision of being able to have some land where I could actually take my friends and family and we actually camp out and actually set up a village. Most people can't see that. Most people can't see the book sales. You understand what I'm saying? They don't see that because the data does not say that. What the data says is that you're crazy or me. And I want to say this to you, that when you're pursuing your dreams, when you're pursuing your passion, when you pursue what you are born for, most people can't see what you see. And for you to even try to get them to see it makes you look even crazier. I didn't argue. I understood perfectly. But I was able to convince them that I was doing this because I am doing this. And I only made $10 because, as I told y'all before, I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this because this is what I was born to do. I speak, I do the podcast. I honestly believe that the universe aligned my birth perfectly so that I would be right at the right age to take advantage of the technology that is available. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Exactly what I'm doing. And I'm going to continue doing that. And I'm going to continue doing all the events because what other people see does not hinder me, does not bother me. You understand what I'm saying? And I need you to understand this. When you are on your path, when you are on this journey, when you are on your journey, you oftentimes will have to go places without a map. You're often going to be thrown in situations that's going to be uncomfortable, that's going to be scary, that's going to be lonely. But don't give up. Continue to hustle, man. Listen, most warriors, when they go to the battlefield, one of the things that I loved about the greatest warriors, when you really study them, they develop a relationship with death. They deal directly with the fact that they may not be coming back. And you have to do the same. See, you have to invest your whole self into what it is that you want to do. Now, bringing it back to the quote that I did before, as you look over the edge into the abyss is also looking up at you. And what really made me think about this was my son was watching a cartoon, and I don't remember the name of the cartoon. And parents, for those of you that may not be that skilled at writing or whatever, find something in common with your child that you could discuss. You can have them write it out. If you can't write it out, you can have them look at the deeper ideas, because this cartoon says something that I'm going to have a conversation with my son about. Well, anyway, the whole basis of the cartoon was this little boy had to come to these masters and learn martial arts. So he had to learn kung fu. He had to learn jujitsu. He had to learn karate. He had to learn fencing. He had to learn all these styles, and he had a different teacher for each one. And the jujitsu master told him, because they was working him out and he thought that he was dying and stuff like this, and the episodes continued and the show got better as it went on. But when he finally got good at the art, and he wanted an explanation for why he was trained the way he was trained. He said, the master said something like this. He says, when you are seeking mastery, it is best that you are pushed into it rather than climb up to it. He said, why, master? He said, because if you climb up, you have the choice to stop. But if you are pushed into it, you have to fall into it and go all the way to the end. And that brings us to the abyss that many of us face in our lives, this empty space, this zero state. I decided a long time ago that I needed to take the plunge. And as you look over into the abyss and you see the pure blackness of it, it talks to you and it brings up fear. And you start thinking about chaos, and you start thinking about the pain, and you start thinking about the suffering. And then you look back and everything behind you looks so comfortable. But you know, if you go back, you will never, ever achieve what it was you was born to be here. You will go back basically a living dead person. You will live a living dead existence. And you have to develop the courage. And I had to develop the courage to look down into the abyss and accept the fact that I couldn't see what was there. And eventually I had to jump. And as I'm falling in the abyss, even to this day, the fear can't keep up with the descent of my fall. The bills can't keep up with the descent of my fall. The pain can't keep up with the descent of my fall. And as I'm falling, I'm learning new things. And ultimately, what I'm finding out that the abyss that I have jumped into was none other than me, the better me, the higher me. And as I'm falling, I'm becoming better and I'm becoming stronger. So no matter what the world throws at me, no matter how much the world charges me, no matter how much people say I'm wasting my time, I have already made peace with death. I have already decided that there is no other way for me to make it out this life. I believe as a warrior that I need to earn my death. And I am working on it now. I know that sounds crazy for some of y'all, but I'm working on it now. I want to be able to lay in a bed and pass away and know that I left this world empty. I left this world knowing the most important person in my life, me. And I was able to share the best me with my kids. I was able to share the best me with my friends. I was able to share the best me with my family. And I left them with the courage that when they come to their abyss and they hear the voice of fear, and they hear the voice of suffering, and they hear the voice of pain, that they could follow my example and plunge themselves into it. And I hope those of you who are listening to this, I hope that you can get the courage from what I'm saying to you today, man, because listen, there's nothing stopping you but you. As you're falling into the abyss, oppression falls away. As you're falling into the abyss, the abyss, you smash through your obstacles. And the only thing that I could tell you is that you have to do it. There is no scientific proof. I have no theories to back up what I'm telling you. But I do have the myths. All the myths of our ancestors agree. Every hero had to plunge into their personal abyss. And at first, what seemed like hell eventually became like a heaven. All right, this is Brother Hatim saying peace. This is Giami Journey, and I'm calling this the Abyss. If you like it, share it. I love to hear your comments. And with that, I say peace.